Alright, so we're gonna go right in. Here we go, guys. Welcome to the Nofa Extra, and we are the video content. Today we're joined by me, Chai, yay! And then we got Sam.
What up, everybody?
We got Gagne. And Jose. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, alright. So today we'll be covering Dave Chappelle's newest stand-up, Sticks and Stones. There's been a lot.
I don't know if it's new. It's been like 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old.
It is.
Newish.
It's his newest stand-up. His newest
there you
stand-up.
go.
It's not like today's release, you know. So
Right.
It's on Netflix if you guys haven't watched it, but please do so you guys can understand the context, what's going on. But for the most part, we'll be discussing, you know, why this is such a big deal and why the news covered, you know, so much. Everybody's going crazy about it. So, all right, Sam, you want to start us off?
About the stand-up, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. It was a nice piece of reality to today's situation, what's going on. You know what I mean? How comics are basically getting in trouble for being comedians. You know, like the way he approached the situation. Like we grew up with Dave Chappelle, so we got his sense of humor. But for the newer generation, they don't get it, so they got offended easily. And for me, it was just I enjoyed it, and I was confused to why all the critics were like, "Don't watch it," like the way they were saying, you know, "Oh, this was so horrible, so bad." You know, for me, I liked it. I don't know. Did you guys enjoy it?
I definitely enjoyed it. I did not see any critic reviews, so I'll be interested to hear you guys fill me in on what critics have said about it. I honestly stopped listening or even caring what critics say. I mean, we're all critics. You know, everybody can make their own mind about what it is. I will say that I'm enjoying this Dave Chappelle now, like this more mature, like talking about some real issues that are going on. I think that the stand-up started really interesting. Like the Bourdain joke to start the show off. Suicide's a very, very sensitive subject for myself personally, and so while I got where he was going with the joke, the delivery was very weird. Like to open a show by just stating a fact and then working your way to the joke took me a minute to kind of get into like, okay, this is how this stand-up's going to go. However, once he got going, it's Chappelle. Like he was amazing. He hit on all the marks that you want to hit on, and so that one took me a little bit to get into. But I can listen to him talk all day, man. He has stories to tell, and they're poignant and relative to what is going on in society right now. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's definitely a taste of sour candy when you first watch the first 5 minutes and you're like, what the hell's going on? Now, mind you, I'm a big Chappelle fan ever since the Chappelle Show, and way even before that, in Half Baked, and his first stand-up comedy and acting HBO and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Even his YouTube stuff. If you guys haven't watched any of his YouTube stuff, by all means, please watch it. Love that how he dedicated this pretty much a special for the fans, for the audience. I mean, he right off the bat, he said, he gave a quick joke to kind of a quick line opener, and he kind of pretty much called out the audience. And this whole this whole stand-up show is making fun of how it is now. If you can't take sour candies, don't watch them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ain't for you. And I love the ending 5 minutes of it. He kind of boiled it down. I'm not going to give too much of a spoiler, but basically, it's all about a mindset. And that it's all about a mindset and how you look at things, and that we create our own monsters sometimes. So definitely I loved it. And my wife and I watched it several times already just because we just love that kind of comedy, because especially doing what I do, sometimes you just got to go, yep, that's pretty much true. Yeah. People would do certain things, for crazy reasons, for money specifically. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, definitely.
People.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Garni.
No, and that's the thing is that we've gotten to a place where we're ultra sensitive of everyone's feelings about everything, and we forgot that we should be able to make fun of each other, and not in a hurtful way, not in a way that you're trying to degrade, not in a way that you're trying to belittle. But look, let's have some fun. Let's allow somebody who is going to entertain us to entertain us. And yeah, it's a tough shake when it comes to comedians nowadays. I could only imagine.
I don't even think it's really necessarily. I think comedians, they have a job, right? And their main job is what? To entertain us, right?
Make people laugh, yeah.
And it's amazing to me that our generation has become so fragile that I don't want to say our generation, the generation of today became so fragile that something that was said and recorded or mentioned 10 years ago could be recycled back and used against that person today. And I get it. There are things that should be looked into and and hold people accountable for. But at the same time, if you're digging up old bones from decades ago, then at that point, when do you stop? When do you take things seriously, and when do you stop going, okay, this actually does matter? And I think this is the problem with this book. He kind of talked about it, and one of the jokes that he said is, again, the last 5 minutes when he said that his father told him, hey, the idea of being poor. Love that portion when his dad told him, hey, poor is a mindset that many people aren't able to get over. They're not poor, they're just broke. Saying that simple wording. I'm like, that's true. A lot of people are just broke and not necessarily poor. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Poor are people that don't have anything, that can't afford anything, that lives off the street and lives in third world countries. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. They talked about the Michael Jackson, that the Michael Jackson thing, which I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I don't give a damn what anyone says. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. And there is that HBO special, which I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I think they took it down. I think it's officially taken down.
Really?
Oh, they took it down.
They took it down.
Why? Did you know why?
There was a backlash, and then somebody else came out. They took it back. I don't remember what it was, and they took it back. And it creates such a massive. Even I think Oprah was against it, and I don't know what there was there was huge people just coming out of it, and just there were people believing it, and there's some people who were like, oh, that's total bull BS. So there was such a huge backlash that they were they had to take it down. I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember just skimming it, and I'm going, all right, well, I like the guy for his music. Can I just leave it at that? I'm not just gonna I mean, sure it sucks, but. I
thought HBO took it down for lawsuit reasons.
Well,
so
I
it's
don't
getting lawsuits.
I know somebody was fighting.
But it was taken down. Yeah. Okay.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Now I just want to watch it now just for the hell of it.
Right.
I say let's protest and say let's get it back. Just let it go back to theaters. Let's see what they're saying. Or it could be just because a lot of it's just farce. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's just fabricated, stories that no one can really ascertain and say oh, this has actually happened. There's no, what they say nowadays. If there's no video, it didn't happen, or there's no pictures, it didn't happen. It's kind of the same situation, right? Michael Jackson did this to me. Did he really? The king of pop, really? You out of all, people, but. Dave Chappelle kind of said that too.
Oh, that joke was so good. That's why I started laughing, because it just made me think of the actual delivery of the joke. You should be lucky.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a free trip to Hawaii. You know what I'm saying?
One of my favorite stand-up moments was when he's talking about this French actor named Jesse Smollett. I was like, hell.
I was so lost. I was like, who is he talking about? Who is he talking about? And I'm like, I feel like I remember hearing about that, but I'm like, that wasn't the guy's name. Is that how he pronounces it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
the French guy.
I thought it was Jesse. I was like, oh, I was so lost.
I couldn't stop laughing about that part, dude. I was like, it's like the cop's like, so excuse me, sir, at 2 a.m. in the cold.
My wife was like, "That would be you, huh?" I go, "Yeah."
I thought the same thing too, Jose. When I was watching, I'm like, "That would be Jose." He'd be like, something's off here."
Something's, to go to Subway at night, at 2 a.m. Word.
You sure?
Call Kanye West.
Sure about that? Well, from your guys' enjoyment, did any of it seem too raunchy at all to you? Any parts?
But see,
For you guys
this
personally?
this is what I like about Dave Chappelle. He's willing to not go the easy route. Like he's willing to do
Yeah.
jokes that's not like it's like his life. It's things that's current. He's not out of date, and on top of that, he's like not going for anything cheap. Like I'm not saying I know I listen to some other comedians. They go for the cheap, easy jokes, and he's telling jokes that are like there's a story. It sounds like he's exaggerating, but it's so good. Like my favorite one about the dad thing. He goes, "Come on, Dad, can you turn up the thermostat to 32?" like
32 degrees. I don't care what you call it. It's wildly uncomfortable.
He has a way of telling you a joke while telling you a story and still making you laugh, and then stop and think like, "Oh shit, that's like he's not wrong." You're like, it's kind of hard to dispute that. Like, you can obviously jump to these, horrible reactions to like, certain jokes that he's making, call it what you want. But like he talked about the Michael Jackson, separate the man from the music. Like, I'm going to enjoy the music still. Like, I don't need to get involved in what the man did or didn't do. Like, I'm not out buying Michael Jackson CDs or merchandise. I'm literally putting it up on Spotify, and well, maybe that goes and benefits his estate, which goes to his children. Fine, whatever. I have nothing against his children. I don't care. Like, I care about the music, and the music still makes me happy and reminds me of my childhood and happier times or different times. And so you have to be able to separate that nowadays. And like, again, separate Dave Chappelle from his comedy. His comedy is his comedy. It's his job. That's what he does for a living, and he's good at it. And Dave Chappelle is a man, like, well, he's closed off and reserved and doesn't want you to worry about that. So he stays out of the spotlight. Good on him. Like, that ain't easy to do nowadays. He chose to live in, BFE, Ohio, and he talks about it all the time. He's like, I live in, what was the phrase he used about talking about like where he lives in Ohio? He calls it like some, it's Trump country basically. And he's adamant about like, well, that's how he stays hidden and stays like reserved. Like, he's not out in the public eye. And it's sad that he had to get to that place, but I almost appreciate that that's his life now, because I like this side of him. I love the frankness. I love that he doesn't hold back. The Louis C.K. stuff that he's talking about just had me dying. He was like, that's the least threatening a guy could ever be. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds about right, actually. I
can understand why like people are like losing it, is because like remember he always says don't record. He doesn't want nobody to record the show.
Sure.
Because people only get clips, so they think this is funny. It's only funny if you're there. Like, it's funny you watch a whole show. Imagine me watching like 10 minutes and then watch the last 10 and tell you that was horrible. Like,
right.
And I'm like, what did you just watch? Like, you need to watch the whole thing to understand the context of what's coming.
Yeah, because you also gotta watch the setup. Like,
correct. And people are just too busy like going, he said this about the T, the L's, and the B's.
Yeah, and the T's, and the T's hate me.
I don't think it was raunchy or anything. I think he just delivered really well. Like I said, he didn't go. He didn't go for the cheap stuff. It's him. Like, he's putting efforts, and he's doing like he said, like if you listen to his last stand-up comedian, he is like the greatest stand-up comedian like currently like standing right now, and he's so good. It's so hard not to like.
I like the fact that he's very genuine. You know what I mean? Like we seen him back in the day when he had the meltdown. When he left Hollywood for a little bit, right? But to see him come back better than ever, I think that's amazing. It just shows that he took time to take care of himself, have a family, and he's able to come back and hone his craft. Like his was it the second or the first stand-up special when it was talking about how he was kind of mad that his son looked up to Kevin Hart as the best comedian. He's like, but I'm a comedian. I mean, I do this for a living.
Yeah.
His joke on Kevin Hart being like the one black guy who actually dreamed about hosting the Oscars. So it's just so funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And the crazy thing about that, he actually even talked about how it led up to him taking that hiatus from the Comedy Central. Mm-hmm. How he talked about like the diplomacy and all the politics behind it, and how they didn't want him to use that word, the word that can't be said to gay people, the F word. And but then he tells him, hey, like, but here I am using the N word so freely, and then you can't let me use the F word. And he says, well, you're not one of them. And he kind of justifies saying, well, I'm also not the N word, type of thing.
Mm.
So a lot of it's crazy how he just lays it out as is. And I think subconsciously we all think about these things. I think he takes the time to actually find a way to clearly deliver his point
Hmm.
without necessarily getting to what you, Sammy, your point is being raunchy. I don't think the idea. I think comedians are expected to be raunchy, right?
Hmm.
Because they have. I mean, they have Cat Williams. You got Mike Epps. Mike Epps has his special on Netflix. And if you watch it, it's not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But with that, Dave Chappelle, I mean, he finds a way to just tell a story. It's a story that we, amongst us right now, we're still talking about it. Why? Because it is a story that he brought up and he talked about it, and in many ways, it's freaking hilarious, man. And so that's the way. That's why he. I think I read somewhere that Dave Chappelle is this generation's Richard Pryor, and I think they hit
Mm.
it on the head when he said that.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
yeah. So definitely, I say watch if whoever's watching this, I say watch Sticks and Stones, Dave Chappelle, and all of his other previous stuff on Netflix and and all the YouTube stuff. Though, if you're
Yeah, I
talking
gotta
about
check out the
watching,
YouTube stuff.
YouTube stuff is funny. Watch it. It's you're gonna be dying, rolling. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's pretty good.
I don't know how many more specials he's got scheduled with Netflix, but I'm
I believe this
thoroughly
last one.
enjoying. This is the last one.
I said
I
that he
mean,
signed on for a four special deal back in 2016.
Yeah.
okay.
So it was a four special deal. So this could be
Yeah.
his swan song, but I mean, you never know. I mean, especially with Netflix having their new buyers, their company and whatnot. So
You never know. He might come out and tell me, you know what? I need money, so I'm gonna do another special.
yeah,
He's gonna-
where's Michael Jackson that we need him?
I appreciate it. He probably comes around when he's got something to say, and he's got a lot to say right now. And the stand-ups have all been unique in their own ways. He's, I think, reiterated some points in some of the specials, but changed the joke around a little bit on how he's driving the point home. Comedians are supposed to be raunchy. I mean, I don't. There's no such thing as too raunchy. You go on a comedy show, you got to expect something. What I love is that he doesn't spend a ton of time talking to the audience as far as like engaging. Like, I see a lot of comedians do this and it drives me wild. And he does a little bit of it, but not a lot. Like, of just like talking to the audience. Oh, what's your name? Da 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 da. Like no, tell me the jokes. Like, tell me the stories. Tell me about your recording the Chappelle show. Like, I would literally just get him in the room and just have him talk for 8 hours, telling me stories about all the being on SNL and being on the Chappelle show and all these people that he's interacted with. These guys lives a pretty interesting life and has a very unique perspective on the world, and can still find humor in it, and I love that because shit, we need more things to laugh about. Like,
True.
Yeah.
I don't need to turn on late night every night and hear Trump jokes. Like, we get it, guy's a moron. Like, that's but
Yeah,
I don't
with
need to hear
Dave
that every night.
Chappelle,
Like, we
it was
talk about
great.
other things.
Yeah, I really loved it. Just watching his stand up just reminds you of Chappelle's show. You know what I mean? Because I grew up with that, so to see him do this, I was like, man, this is so good. It was just a nice breath of fresh air. To see his style, to see it be done now, and like I was telling you, Ganya, like when I was seeing a couple different sites, and they were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't watch it. You should skip it." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Nah, it's probably you don't get a sense of humor." And when I watched it, I was like, "This thing's amazing."
Yeah.
Because I was watching, I was seeing so many articles saying, "Oh, you shouldn't watch this. It's too much," or "He's not PC" or whatnot. I'm like, but he's a comedian.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point. They're a comedian. They're making a joke for you to laugh about.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not
the
the
other
job to
issue,
be PC.
yeah, the other issue that came up is like people who are fans started hating him because now they became a target. Like, we were made fun of, like you don't know about that. There was like people, like, it was not just like random, not just like like these people who were like B's and T's and stuff. They were actually big fans of Dave Chappelle. Like, they were, until like they became like like they thought they were the target. It's not that he's just talking about these issues that's going. He's just talking about these things are going on. So all of a sudden now they hate it because they think, oh, like they're making fun of us. Like, that's what they're saying. That's what he's saying. So people are now like, oh, well, you're making fun of me, so now I don't like you because now this is not funny anymore.
Ugh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, again, it's the idea that the difference between a tragedy and comedy is that somebody actually jumping over the cliff versus somebody almost jumping over the cliff. You guys hear about that theory?
Mm.
Fill me in.
Supposedly, the idea is that a tragedy is somebody's running towards the cliff. Imagine someone running towards a cliff and actually jumping off the cliff. Tragedy, someone dying. Comedy is somebody running towards the same exact cliff and at the last second stops and almost falls and does the hand thing and and finds a way to hold on. And then that's the comedic portion of it. So
That getting to that line. Yeah. I like
and
that.
that's exactly the idea that I think the generation of today misses the point that look, yeah, could be a tragic event, and like that actor, the Empire actor that they're talking about, the whole thing is
Sure.
just funny,
Yeah.
but no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
R.
Nobody-
Kelly, the R. Kelly stuff. Come on, we hear about it. We heard about it for a whole month. CNN and ABC, CSNBC talked about nothing but R. Kelly, but no one wants to make a joke about it. Why? Don't know.
Don't want to touch it. Sensitive subject. There's victims. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And
the idea of victims too. Like again, I truly think this was his swan song of a comedy special because he kind of laid it all out there. Where again, like the last 5 minutes, if I think I highly recommend just rewatching it because I think he really laid it off. He laid it all down. As we create our own monsters, it's all about the mentality, and if you act like you're the victim, you will be the victim. So,
True.
I'm gonna pause this real quick.
Well put.
We're back.
And we're back.
Okay, so so how would you guys rate this stand up? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's like 9 out of 10. This point, or like 9.5.
I'm gonna go 9.5. Like I said, it just had a slow build up, but once he was going, he was in rhythm. And I mean, if he does choose to at least step out of spotlight again for some years and let it simmer, he left this on a high note, touching on really, really valid points, trying to drive home the point like we need to stop taking ourselves so fucking seriously and realize that like we're doing the best we can, and making jokes about anything is just a joke. It's like look, we have to spend 99% of our time being compassionate and understanding and sweet. Like every once in a while, just let loose and enjoy. And like Jose made that point, but let's get to the edge, and that's the adrenaline rush. Let's not go over the edge.
Any other comments you guys want to add on before we close out?
What's your rating, Jose?
I'll give it a
9.9. 9.9.
yeah, near perfect comedy special on this one. I know he had a little pause where like some guy was trying to take his cell phone.
Oh yeah.
And then and even that quick thing, how quick he was to respond to that. Here we are, like everyone was like, what is this, high school? What if the guy's mom is really dying? What? Things like that. I mean, like it's things that I think I've even thought of subconsciously. What if so? But he's the kind of guy who he actually is not afraid to bring it up. And I say, for those who are looking for a good fun and just a laugh, I say watch it. This goes along the same line as Eddie Murphy's Delirious. I mean that by itself is the top of all comedy specials for me. But it's in the same boat, I guess. I would throw it in there.
Yeah.
And Netflix is on the roll with all their comedy specials, so definitely I hope they keep it rolling and find a way to keep them rolling. So
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Sam?
Oh, Sam, go ahead. Sorry.
Definitely 9.5 in my book, dude.
Okay.
It's I miss the style. I love it. It's thought provoking. It has a big impact when you actually watch the whole setup because it makes you think about the situation. It makes you realize, things have gotten soft. And sometimes you just gotta laugh, dude. Sometimes you just gotta laugh and have fun. You can't take it serious all the time. So definitely 9.5 in my book. What about you, Chai? What'd you give it?
Same 9.5. I really can't dock him. I mean, just the beginning part, but that's it. But overall, I like it. He's really caught up. He's not out the loop. He's not, he's really, he knows what's going on, and it's not like he's talking out of his ass or anything. So, if anything, he did a really amazing job. So.
How come you guys didn't like the beginning? The beginning was so great. It was like it's something different. He was quoting songs and even like the little captions that he was doing.
First 5 minutes. And I already touched on why I didn't.
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
For me, it's too close to home.
Right.
And it was the way it was delivered. Look, can I laugh about jokes made about suicide? Yes. He opens the show with, y'all, Anthony Bourdain committed suicide, and you're just like, and it was just a weird way to open a show. And even what's more awkward was that like the audience is like clapping, like. He didn't tell. That was the opening line. I just listened to it before we started, and so hearing the audience laugh about that when it wasn't a joke yet, it was a lead-in to a joke. Was just like, okay, this is weird. And then again, like I said, he built into like why he was saying that. He tells a story about his friend, down in his luck. And he's like, I even suggested it to this guy. I started laughing. Like again, it was a weird. Just it felt weird to open the show that way. Obviously, as soon as he like got rolling, it was over. It was like the first 5 minutes for me. It was like, oh, I don't know where this is going. Like I don't know what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Then again, it relaxed a little bit. But that's one of those things where maybe I'm gonna check myself and not be so sensitive about that. But it's a personal subject, and so
Right.
It took me a minute. It took me a minute.
Yeah, it was a little awkward start. I can understand that because that's how I felt. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not sure where this is going yet, but. Yeah,
Right.
it's just a little bit weird, but I agree with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Cool.
Understood. It's definitely. I think the idea is that things could always be worse. I guess I think that was his point on that one.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, thank you for tuning in. For those who follow us, make sure you guys check out our Tuesday regular podcast. And we have Gagne for your consideration featuring Bree.
New episode
Every
tomorrow.
Sunday. Every Sunday? Oh, no, Friday?
I slacked. In-laws have been in town, so
Okay.
I didn't release on Sunday. It'll be out tomorrow.
I'll be out tomorrow. All right, Gagne will be out tomorrow. And then don't forget
And it's
to
been
check-
really good.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Don't forget to check out our Instagram,
Love it.
YouTube, and our Facebook, okay? Anything you guys want to hear about, any topics you want us to cover, let us know. We will cover it, we will do it, we'll give it a shot, okay, guys?
Leave some comments.
All
Let us
right.
know how we did or how we didn't do. I don't know. You tell me.
All right, this is Nofa Extra, and we're out, guys. Thank you.
Peace.
There you